I was scrolling through YouTube till I saw this one playlist from a small and upcoming creator. Totally not me. And it was a playlist titled Sunset Mini Film. So I watched the first video and man, there was a lot to uncover. So let's go through this together and try and see what lurks underneath. The first video of this playlist starts off pretty normal. Just some farmer guy coming out of a cave close by to his home, enjoying life. Things get really weird though when he decides to go back into his home. After our protagonist finishes watching the sunset, he heads back home. Except it seems something lurking around his home follows him. We don't even really know what this is. It could be an animal, somebody, or something supernatural. In the following scene, the protagonist sits down at a dinner table while looking around. Shortly after that, he goes over to a desk and starts writing down everything that happened during the day. This gives us a little bit more context to the story and also reveals his name towards the last page. Jason mentions trying to find a her in the mines while going around all the different tunnels and checking all the shelters inside of the mine. And while he's journaling these pages, it seems like something is standing behind him. He later goes to sleep and then this sequence plays right after. So far, just looking at episode 1, Jason is just your normal farmer guy searching the mines trying to find this her that he keeps mentioning, and it seems like something has slipped inside of his home. In the second episode, Jason kind of just does normal stuff in his house and ends up heading out for the mines, and this is the first glimpse we have of the mines. In the following clips, Jason just goes around the mines checking all the paths he hasn't already. When he reaches one crossway, he notices something really strange though. Also, no, that's totally not my voice. I've never seen this path to the bottom. Maybe I'll go check it out. Let me go forward to the bunker. Okay, there's a lot that happens here. So he finds another pathway that he hasn't seen ever. And when he goes down, he gets a really weird, image of some monster looking thing, and then it cuts back in the video and the path is completely gone, and it seems like Jason just forgot what he even saw. Not only that, but if you reverse the audio that plays when you see the monster, it actually says you're losing your mind. You're losing your mind. Probably hinting at the fact that Jason was hallucinating this, but I don't know if we can really rule that as the definitive answer. And yeah, pretty much after that, he kind of makes his way to one of the shelters in the mines and ends up going to sleep pretty much. So off the second episode, basically we're kind of given a little bit more of what the cave looks like, and also maybe a hint to if Jason sees hallucinations of things, and maybe the thing that was chasing him wasn't really real. The third episode immediately introduces a new character and also just does an information dump that is really useful to find out what's going on. Where am I? We're shown to be in some really weird place, and all this new character is telling us about how it is safe was apparently one of our biggest mistakes. And he says that we can find this her that Jason has been searching for. He also mentions a date, March 11th, which could be this date or just a reference point to something that happened. And just as he's about to finish saying everything, it cuts off. We're then shown to be in some like red hallway with a bunch of pictures. And right at the end, we approach a barrel and this sequence plays. There's some bottle named, but if you read this in reverse, it actually spells risperidone, which is a real life medicine that is used to treat schizophrenia, which could give us a hint and also explain why Jason just sometimes sees things that aren't clearly there. Another thing to point out is that the character Dolus we were talking to also has the exact same name as the Greek god Dolus, which is the god of trickery. So we can't really take his word at face value, but he could be telling the truth. After that, Jason wakes up and he seems to find another door in the bunker, even though it wasn't there before. To recap episode 3, Dolus basically tells us about things that seem to have happened in the past, since he's referring in the past tense, and that Jason might be on some kind of medication for schizophrenia, or it could just be a red herring, honestly. Now, in episode 4, though, things get very interesting as we see Jason walk through the doors that had a beard and he's entering a facility of some sorts. And immediately we get a lot of information from this next scene. There's quite a lot to unpack here. So Amelia has her name redacted, but apparently she had some very major injuries recently. The other two kind of seem like red herrings, and patient 4 just does not even have a name at all. After Jason sees all the pages, then I don't know if it's a hallucination or not, but he sees an extra page where someone's putting all the blame on him and they need test results to make him pay for something. After reading the pages, Jason walks up to this banner that's really blurry, but if you brighten the image, you can make out "Keep your family company registered to visit," and 4 letters are capitalized: E, R, I, and C, and they spell out Eric for Eric Corporations. So maybe Eric's an important character. After that, Jason goes down to sit on the couch and he watches a video of, I guess, stuff that happens in the facility. In the video, a new character called Mr. Lannister is explaining stuff that happens in the facility and how they have the best medicine around, and they have also created a new type of therapy called Red Room Therapy. After watching the video, Jason goes over to the other side of the facility, and there he sees the entrance to the Red Room. He stops right at the door, and then this very disturbing scene plays. From what it looks like, someone is currently undergoing Red Room Therapy. And from what it looks very painful, almost torturous. And you can even hear the rattle of shackles every time the light pulses. Not only that, there's also another figure here with a very similar name to Dolus that we saw in the other episode. But this time he's not some like shadowy figure. Now, my only theory is that maybe the dream was actually a memory of being inside the Red Room. So maybe Jason has been inside of the red room, or maybe this is even a clip of him being inside and he's remembering. And then finally, the episode ends with Jason just walking into another entrance of the cave, meaning that he probably was never even in a facility, and it could have been from his memory, or it could have just been part of his imagination. And I guess after leaving the facility, Jason enters a do not enter zone of the mines, and it's completely quarantined off. He still breaks through it anyways, and there's a whole bunch of like signs and just an operation happening here. There's a few signs posted up, and Jason walks up to the first one and says, "Bring all personnel, we need to act quick, postpone anything urgent from any other patient," meaning that it probably is Eric Corporations if they're talking about patients. There's another sign across the ravine that also has more information on it. Recover as many samples of DNA. This is an urgent matter. And he also pans over to a truck that has Eric Corp Industries on the side of it, pretty much confirming that Eric Corporations has something to do with this. This next scene shows a female character looking up at James like it's some sort of flashback or memory that he has. It cuts back to James, and in these two following scenes, there's two Easter eggs back to back. If you actually slow down right here, okay, I'm not gonna lie, because of the film damage I added into the scene, oh, you actually can't really see the sign that well no matter like how you edit the scene. But the sign is meant to say Amelia Lannister, so sorry about that. But yeah, anyways, that's kind of unfortunate that doesn't like pick up. But yeah, here also there's another Easter egg at the bottom. Let's go over what the top says first though. It says ultraviolet radiation will induce side effects of red room therapy, and James does always arise to a sunshine, which is a source of ultraviolet radiation. So he probably is having effects of red room therapy if we kind of connect the dots a bit, because it seems like he was having a memory about it. And of course at the very bottom you can actually see that there is some text, and it kind of seems to spell out "I had to fix her" and then another word at the end. After reading the note, this sequence plays. In that last scene, you can actually see that it does say Amelia Lannister on the sign, but you could see it previously, it's just not with the bitrate that I had. Also, it does seem like we're being watched from across the ravine, especially with the breathing sounds and whatnot. And yeah, that's pretty much the final episode. And yeah, I obviously made this ARG. I kind of wanted to like do a little spin on it, or it was like, oh, I found this ARG and I'm like finding out the clues, and no, there's an actual like story here. It's just maybe it needed like a little bit of a push to get people like to theorize some stuff, because there is a story like within all of this, and I kind of wanted to like be discovered. But yeah, I guess it kind of was a little bit vague. And I guess I don't know if anyone would even like really care, I guess, but I guess the three like biggest questions that kind of would help people is try and figure out who Amelia is, what is even going on with Eric Corporations, and try and think of why Jason is even like seeing some of these like things. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out a lot. And if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. See ya.